Hello, welcome to the Dynasty 2, the Colbys Aftershow here on JLJ Media. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm getting my hat together. I have a lot of hair underneath here right now. I'm not ready to show it to you guys. It's a mess. But I want to thank everybody who watches the show and listens to it. You're giving us great numbers. I appreciate it. Who knew there's an audience out for the Colbys? Yeah, I know Dynasty, the first. But the Colbys is a nice audience out there. And thank you to all of the Facebook groups. Thank you to Twitter, Instagram. Thank you for watching, commenting. I love it. The last episode I did, you gave me lots of engagement, lots of comments. I appreciate it completely. I love it. I love it. Let's keep talking about the show. So this one, kind of do Black History Month started here in America. I know you guys from all over the world, but in America, it's Black History Month, where we spotlight Black Americans in history. And that includes culture and arts. And so I started doing some digging. I was like, let me look at the Colbys and where were the people of color, not just Black people of color. This is what I found, and you guys know this already. So basically, in the lead categories, a regular cast, one of the people who was on almost every episode was Ricardo Montalban, who is of Hispanic descent. So he was the only person who was not white, specifically, that was on the show as a lead. He played Zach Powers, which is a name that could be anything, which I love. I have no problem with that. But there's only one. There's no other. There's no black lead. No black lead, no Asian lead, nothing. It was a different time period. Even Chow Lee on Falcon Crest was kind of, you knew him. He was around. He was kind of a major part. But on this show, it was him. And he had major storylines and all that. And that was great. But I did some research. I did some research. So there were people who made guest appearances and played a character here and there, like one episode people, like Mabel King, who was the mother on What's Happening Now, was in the original Wiz, played a fortune teller. Timothy Brown played an officer. Vanessa Bell Calloway, who's doing all kinds of stuff, played Lowell Sherman. Lance Roberts played a photographer. So there was they casted a few Black ones. And my whole thing was like, they're in Los Angeles. Like, it's just all white Los Angeles. I know they were rich, but it's like, need people for other things. So this wasn't that many. But now people are going to say, well, what about Diane Carroll? So Diane Carroll, when she joined Dynasty, the parent company, became the first African-American lead actor or actress in a continuing drama on primetime. She also decided to be, as she put it, America's first Black bitch. I love it. And that she was. You go on YouTube and watch her famous opening, which goes to La Mirage and wants 2 bedrooms, one for her luggage and one for her. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Her, and she's Blake's half sister and alternate everything. Now, here's the thing for the Colbys. This is kind of related to the Colbys. So Diane Carroll made 7 appearances on the Colbys. So she kind of counts. She was a guest starring as Dominic Devereaux because she had a relationship and was in a relationship with Garrett Boydston, played by Ken Howard, who was on the Colbys. But what they did was they had him on the Colbys. This was part of the crossover, which I love. It was him on the Colbys, her on Dynasty. They brought her daughter, Jackie Devereaux. Remember her on Dynasty? Played by Troy Bayer. So she's a Carrington too. How funny. They're all Carringtons. A Black Carrington. Why should do a whole show on Black Carringtons? Okay. That'd be kind of fun if we do like something for real now. But anyway, so she came on Dynasty, Garrett would come over to cross over, and they dealt the whole thing of him re-getting engaged with Dominique, reuniting with her and finding out that they had a daughter. So Jackie Devereaux is Garrett Boyston's natural biological daughter. Dynasty 2, the Colbys didn't last that long. If it had lasted longer, maybe she could have came to the Colbys. Who knows? Like what could have happened or stayed on Dynasty longer. But neither show lasted much longer, so the possibility just died. But Diane Carroll was black, and so she did make appearances on both. But there was no regular cast member on the Colbys that was Black or Asian or Latino or other. Well, no, there was a couple of people that were others, but they were considered white. And so I looked it up. If you guys can remind me of somebody who was, and all I'm just saying is I'm not saying this to become for start attacking me about anything. I'm just saying it's a fact. This Black History Month, what we do in America is we spotlight Black Americans. And I was just looking on the Colby to see if there was any Black Americans on there, and there just really wasn't that many. Other soaps, all right, Dallas didn't have that many. Now, Standing had a family that moved in, so that's another story over there. But the big soaps, Falcon Crest didn't really have that many. So, but I just thought it's LA. LA has a large population of Black and Hispanic and Asian. So even as adversarial roles or reoccurring guest spots, I think nowadays, the new Dynasty has it all integrated. It's totally because it's Atlanta, totally integrated. They've done it right. So we brought the Colbys back. I would make sure it's very integrated too. I make sure it's very integrated. Not just because it should be all good people working there, but just because it should be. That's all. Especially in cities like Atlanta, LA, New York, those are all integrated cities. So just a piece of history that I was looking up. If you can think of somebody else who was of color on the show, let me know. Tell me your feelings about it. Maybe, I'm not killing me that it wasn't like that. I know it's a different time period. It was the 80s. But it's an interesting piece of history that we should talk about. We should know. I'm James Lott Jr. The show is on every streaming service platform, audio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, all that. And of course, it's on YouTube at JLJ Media, run by me. Go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, comment, tell me how you feel. And the Dynasty 2, the Colbys Aftershow will be back next time with a new episode talking about the Colbys. See you next time.